It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Stairs.
Wait a week. Wooden boards and iron shackles. The Divine Order's hospitality leaves much to be desired indeed. A subpar cranium, that? Human, no wonder. A subpar cranium, that? Human, no wonder. Rubbish. This again. Ugh. Well, that explains the smell.
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin. Did you expect a needle? Did you expect a needle? Did you expect a needle?
This again. The Magister Guard snorts and sniffles as he sleeps. You're almost impressed that one man can make such a phlegmy racket.
What's happened? Oh, are you in the relief shift? Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy red scale? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. Damn. If it's not one thing, it's another. And no way I can trust those fools to deal with any nonsense on their own. Can't leave the prisoner alone, though. He's been nothing but trouble, I hear. If it's all the same, I think it's best he comes with me. Some offence intended. You hear that, Emoire? We're taking a walk. Come on. Keep your hands where I can see them. Hurry it up, sorcerer. We haven't got all day.
No. No. You most certainly a dead magister. Somebody will have to take the blame for this, and it won't be me.
Junk. Locked. This again? Boring.
Empty.
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me. Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for several days.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Sauce. For good.
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of one hand on your forehead and taking your pulse with the other.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Sauce spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. Makes you unable to cast Sauce. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Good God! There's been a murder here!
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. If you have nothing to hide, I'm sure it'll go just fine. Bloody lizard.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwoken followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own source. We'll find out who did this. Speaking of...
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Not with that collar on, you aren't. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous. But who?
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
She shakes her head.
Game for one, I'm afraid. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past, in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
What are you trying to hear anyway?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, your hunger gnawed and gnawed at you until you could stand it no longer. Finding the cellar door ajar, instead of trying to escape, you snuck into the pantry like a common thief, only to find nothing but rather questionable turnips. There you stood as a magister walked in, still hungry, feeling a mighty fool. Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
What's your name? God, didn't your mother teach you any manners? She got eaten by a void
ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
That isn't anger, it's
He cocks his ear to the other side, then smiles.
anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine.
Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here.
Got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with him.
Captain, actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the Joy. Close to what lies beyond it, too.
Ask what you must. I've nothing to hide.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
Till overboard.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
I shall hold my head steady. Come on, please,
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge you anymore.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
If you'll be pardoning me, I'll be much obliged.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mist.
The Magisters are out for blood. You saw the body, didn't you? Big bruiser like you ought to be able to take them on.
Well, got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with him.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us.
My prince.
The cook bows slightly and wipes her hands on her gruel-stained garb.
Forgive me, Your Highness. I didn't expect... well, anyway, whether I had more than cornmeal and rotting roots to serve, I'd concoct something.
Long enough for me to listen.
She nods and smiles wanly before returning to her duties.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out, flicks a finger against one of your scales, and rubs his chin.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I'm trying to concentrate. They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
7 years? What an infinitesimal period! Why would anyone... Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How... You have my apologies, Lizard. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once.
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Ah, yes. The niceties. My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... Well, I am a seeker of knowledge. That is enough. It is pleasurable to meet you. Is there? Wherever do you keep it? Certainly not in your books. I have been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Most unusual, and if it's not too rude to suggest, not much of an answer. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
The elf's face freezes for just a second before he waves his hand dismissively.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curiosities. We mortals do like to consider these things, do we not? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
You think me mad? Mad?
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far? Of course I do. Seems Voidwoe can dog your heels like a shadow. That's no way to live, is it? You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Name? Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
Wow! Are you a dragon? You look like a dragon. But where are your wings?
You're really red. I bet that's why the Magisters took you. They took me because I'm magic.
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la.
One of us would kill our own.
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You'd presume right.
It was one of them. I know it.
but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
I ain't saying nothing.
Bloody dwarves. I'll come back to you, and you better be ready to talk.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth?
This again?
Murder most foul, and I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
Standing at the centre of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive, but only just. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. Under his shaggy hair, you can see green eyes fluttering as if in a nightmare. A low whine escapes his lips. His eyes flicker open, but he doesn't register your presence at all.
Lucien. Lucien.
Ifan cries out, then his eyes fall closed again. No matter how much you shake him now, he cannot be roused.
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use. Your words do not seem to reach her.
The dice roll darkly. They're rolling for me.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
In a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally, but her eyes are wide open, like those of a corpse. Dark, greyish-black clouds swirl through. She doesn't stir.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. Damn! That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards!
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too? Go on then. Find a place to hide and stay there.
What will happen to us?
You need to find a hiding place. And quick.
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No, no, no! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid! No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
I know your god did not gift you with much, but kindly used the little you were given. Do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? Trifling matters like water and poison do not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the sea floor, I will simply walk to shore. Whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over. I believe you did, although I was wearing the face of an elf at the time. I had a mask rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Indeed, just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving a fellow to his business. I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die a rather terrible death, so...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book. The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is, a warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The crimson drains from your hand, and you are left numb. It doesn't budge. The door groans.
I need to get out of here, now!
What in blazes? Something...
The marking on the door was... The door groans open.
My word! Something's breaking through! What the hell are those? Death I need to get out of here, now!
Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here. Hear that, kid? We need to go!
But about the ladder? It's right over there. You can go straight down.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orivan.
Well, that was a bit of a rough and tumble journey. I suppose I'm the lone survivor. Which is entirely appropriate, if you ask me.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards.
Really? Like, what kind of stories? A dragon that marries an elf? That sounds silly. Can I hear it anyway?
You warmly tell the tale of the dragon, but despite your best efforts, you notice that your knowledge of legends and monsters is somehow upsetting the child.
Are you a sorcerer?
One of those guys that brings the bad void things here.
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself again.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside anyway. But you didn't die. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn! They made it to the shore.
Prince.
Glory is mine. I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep... This pig's bladder was on the ship. A black cat. A herald of wisdom in my homeland. How fortuitous.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity, its eyes clear, and it shakes its head, confused.
Magister. Now stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere. Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
I've got my eye on you, Scaly. Don't try any of that sauce business on my watch, or I'll do to you what the hammer did to that traitor.
Well, that's true now, isn't it? With that little ring around your neck, you can't conjure so much as a boo. Like a cat without its claws, ain't you? Bishop's the son of the dead divine. Don't know when we'll get a new one, but Alexander's looking after us in the meantime all the same. And the hammer's a solid sort. Don't take no guff and don't stand for no idling. Earned that name for a reason, she did. So in the time of Lucian, of course. Who wouldn't join up with God himself? He was all glory, all goodness. When we lost him, well, it only made sense to see his will through. Can't for certain, but I reckon when God himself gives his life to protect you, you don't waste the gift. You protect, so that's what we do. Lucian gave his life to protect Rivellon. If we let the Voidwoken get to it now, well, we'd have lost him for... Fort Joy ain't no summer camp. No one said it were, but it's the best we've got to protect the realm. When you give up the darkness that's inside you, take your fault, it's there, mind, but it's there all the same. They're working on a cure for you even now. Got some good leads, so I hear. You can trust Dallas to take care of it. And once you're cured, your life will start again.
Did you see him? You did, right? Those claws. Wonder what's behind the masks, too. Count the Geists, dummy. The Hammer and Alexander had two in tow just a moment ago. Ugh. Thought you lot would be interested in a thing like that. Won't find nothing better than a Geist, not in your life. But I don't picture you with Geist companions, oh no. I picture you rather of the Geistly type yourself. Now why don't you move along and settle in? A Magister will come and find you when they're ready for you. Could be a while, though. We're up to our hoods in sinners these days.
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. A kin, is it? A traitor cannot be murdered. A traitor can only receive their due. Doubly so for a lizard traitor. It's a pity she couldn't die twice. The Divine Order's all that stands between everything you see and a Voidwoken's throat. Any traitor to them is a traitor to us all. Believe it or don't. The Divine Order doesn't need our loyalty. They'll save us in spite of ourselves. Even you, skin shedder.
Come on then, Nixie. Lay up.
I find I need bread. I want no trouble. You! Help me teach this beast. He must respect. If not, he comes for you next.
Respect? Huh. Someone's got to keep this place running. Griff can't do it for free. Why'd you gotta make this so hard?
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment, before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you.
The intense-looking man stands beside you against the thugs, shooting you an appraising glance. Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined threat.
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth the sweat of my brow anyhow.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
Amidst a crowd of screws, bolts, and scraps of metal, the woman is manipulating a glove-like contraption fitted with 5 long metal skewers.
And what you after? I ain't. Just seeing how it's made. She's clever, Dallas. Made these herself, for those bodyguards of hers. Boy, they're sharp.
She looks up.
You looking to buy something? Found it in the scrap heap not so long ago. We used to know each other back in the day, you know. Dallas and I. Never knew her to be much of a wrench head back in the day, but once she joined the Order, she started turning out all...
She nods once.
You looking to buy something? Or do you just want to waste my time with a whole lot of questions? For you? Hell no. That's for me to know, and you to get out of my face. Buy or shove off. All manner of things. Have a look.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with it appears confused. The man rolls his sleeves back down. He nods at you, the shadow of a smile on his lips.
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops.
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and shakes it, hard.
Good to meet you, lad. Say, you don't look all that busy. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. I've just got a small errand to run, and then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place?
He shrugs, looking off to the side.
Mercenaries. It's a job. My job. Everyone needs to make a living. I make mine running errands.
The little black cat trailing you hisses at him, hair raising a ridge along its back. Without batting an eyelid, the man rumbles a lupine growl. The cat hides behind your leg, mewling.
That's the truth. For me, for you, for everyone in this place. Why not help each other get out of here? The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked out the details yet, but I'll wager it'll be no worse than what'll happen if we stay put. 2 heads are better than 1, and when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better than 2, right?
He grins, sharp teeth glittering in the midday sun.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide battle strategies up front. Should keep more of our blood in. Survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Too much, you might say. I can make them bleed any which way you want. Which is? Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye, then nods back at you.
Right you are.
I saw what you did there, convincing Burrow not to lay down the law on that elf. Anything for a fellow sorcerer, isn't that right? Out of my sight! I've got my eye on you.
Hello? You gonna pray all day, buddy?
As you approach the unsmiling Magister, Ifan catches your arm and speaks to you with some urgency.
I need to talk to this one for a few moments. Alone.
A shadow crosses his face.
A real leader trusts.
Gavos!
None of your business, you leathery freak.
The Magister stares at the ground, unaware of your presence. With a start, she looks up and realizes someone is standing right beside her. Her eyes meet yours. She doesn't blink.
The Divine is dead. The Bishop is all we have left. Yes, our Lord Bishop is human, and so is his father, the Divine. The Divine.
Her voice trails to silence, and she resumes staring at the ground, lost deeply in thought.
I do wish Alexander would ascend sooner rather than later. They say his powers are not developing as they should. They blame the Voidwoken. But we need his powers to develop so that he may banish the Voidwoken. It's quite the pickle. I wish it every night. more than anything. I put my faith in the bishop. Reminds me of his father. And what he said has been true. Wherever there are sorcerers, Voidwoken strike. Hmm? Oh, yes. Only a week or two before, well, you know. I wanted to serve him, but who didn't then? He was driving the Black Ring back, soon to rout them entirely.
Leave me. Go. Get away. Get back. At least wait till I've croaked my last, if you want to study me.
She groans in pain,
So this is Fort Joy.
What a crumbling
You
disaster.
looking for a match? You'll have a good head on most of the competition, that's for certain. A good tail, too. Poor lugs won't know what hit 'em. You'll find out. Down the hatch, then. Not scared, are you?
Griff is slowly, methodically peeling the skin from a potato. As you approach, he looks up, setting the potato, but not the sharp little knife, down on the...
What? Who's asking?
He smirks and holds the little knife up to the light, watching it glint.
I'm listening. Thugs? Look at it this way. People get lawless here, and we all starve. Can't help you there. If I could, I wouldn't be here peeling goddamn potatoes. Sure, have a look. Good stuff, huh?
He points the tip of his blade at the grisly sight of the elf hunched over, clutching his knees in the cage.
I solve my own problems. Oh, they'll cure you of your sauce. Nightshade will cure you of an headache, too. Sure, have a look. Good stuff, huh?
Psst. Hey! You're a little light in your trunk, ain't you? Who could blame you with the garbage they got for sale round here? Why don't you take a gander at the goodies I got? Stuff you won't find anywhere else in camp. Procured by special means. Boss don't mind where the gold comes from, long as he gets his cut. Have a look.
What in his death? So Voidwoken are attracted to swords. But why?
Here, heading into the kitchen. Don't try anything funny around, Griff. I'm watching you. Ha! Cheeky. What's your name? I'm Butter. Nice to meet you. Long enough, I reckon. I'm surprised they haven't come for me yet. Most folks get taken away for the cure after just a week or two. By the divine, haven't I? Back home again. Or to somewhere totally new. Sun, wine, freedom. But those are just dreams. No one can escape from here.
Worse than war rations, these.
She laughs. The sound fills the air like the ringing of a bell.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
Look, I have an idea. I know we don't know each other very well, but time is so short and a connection is so rare. If we get out of here, will you meet me again in Arx? I have responsibilities here. I can't start running around outside the family. It isn't done. But once we're out of here, none of that will matter. You'll meet me, won't you?
She leans forward and grazes your cheek with her lips.
Until then.
You gonna pray all day, buddy?
The shrine depicts Lucian the Divine, avatar of the 7 gods. It does not react.
A shrine, by the looks of it.
Bow your head, please! If we chant the endless prayer, the next divine will ascend. Even if your kind has displeased the god so terrible. Haven't you heard? Bishop Alexander, the divine's own son, is God-woken. He will ascend. He will protect us. Do not doubt that he will come into his powers at any moment. And then he shall ascend.
If a magister finds this on you, you forget my name, here?
Keep it down, will you?
Ain't fit for beasts.
Here's the goods. Like you wanted.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much. Worse than war rations, these.
Will source change back? What if there are no sorcerers? Yet so quickly we find source so dangerous. What in his death caused it? But why? When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sorcerers?
Ain't fit for beasts. Ain't fit for beasts.
If a magister finds this on you, you forget my name, here?
Keep it down, will you?
Ain't fit for beasts.
A little reprieve from the din outside.
The Red Demon. The exiled pig. I'd heard they'd sent you here, but I'd hoped you'd have drowned yourself before crossing my path.
The soldier looks at you hard, his grip tensing around his spear.
No, I suppose the Red Prince is rather taller, isn't he? You're positively stunted. Sorry for the mix-up. House? So it is you after all. Demon. Pig! Get out of my sight before I report you to a Magister for whatever strikes my fancy. No one here will defend you.
I feel him, but I do not see him.
Wait, I call a timeout.
Thank you for your help with that, thug. No doubt he turns on you next. These humans hate us.
She bows.
I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through. Through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs I can stand, but I fear the Magisters. In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows more than we know. In the camp, the brute Griff rules. He who gives the bread has the power. It gives me great pain. I'm with my family. We are making beautiful magic. We are healing a tree cut down with great violence. The Magisters come. My family runs, but I fall. My son looks back. I shout to him to run. I am taken. Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I save it for a special occasion, but I can think of no finer occasion than this. Thank you.
Whoever kills the other is the boss. I feel him, but I do not. Sure. Got you. I'll stab you right in the eye. Sure. Got you. I know they have. You're too slow. I know they have. I magicked you. You're dead.
I know they help.
You're too slow! Shua! 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 Got you!
The young girl's eyes are covered, but she turns toward you when you approach. She smiles as though she recognizes you, though she couldn't have seen your face.
Hello, dear prince. Hello, betrayed soul. How sad to stand accused, to be innocent but not believed. I see it before my eyes. It is not so bad. I know which days have bread and which days have none. I know more bread comes someday. It helps. You do, someday. Your life is not your own. Your life is for us all. I cannot say more. You see someday.
Her eyebrows shoot up.
There can be a way. Amiro knows. But he is gone. Do you see him? He knows how to leave. My protector, my friend. An elf like me, with a spirit bright as new leaves. He tries to help me, to save me, and he suffers very much. He is caught by those who hurt him. I wish so much for his return. And he tells you what you seek. A way out. You bring me great peace. Thank you, my friend. I miss him very much. I see something that helps. I see a lizard. He is a lizard of many dreams, of far feeling. You do not free Amiro without him. Yes, please ask. Oh, I do not cover my eyes. I cover the place they used to be. They are gone now, taken, but I see all the same. He is a very blind man. He sees things but not truth, not love or joy. I feel very sorry for him. You understand when you meet him, after you escape. It is safer here. We make no trouble for Griff. He makes no trouble for us. I knew we must be here. I am not sure how much to explain. You are here, and so we are here. My home is far. Your language gives me some trouble. We elves... Time, for us, is now. There is not then and when.
Something isn't right here. It could be an ambush.